What's up? Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I am your host, Harrison Graham. We are live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Sorry for the late start. We had a late night last night here on the watch party, so thanks to everybody who tuned in for that. That was a lot of fun as the Chiefs took down the Chargers 30-27 on Sunday Night Football. Appreciate everybody for being here. Let's go ahead and jump on into it here. Shout out your city and let us know where you guys are watching from. We've got a lot of people in the chat already. We got B Sports, Chiefs Production, Gavin, Kevin. We got Tony Fuentes in Dallas, Squiggy in Kansas City, Kevin in Arizona. We've got Freddie in Kansas City, upstate New York for Chiefs Productions. That's where producer Nick is from, upstate New York. Got Rolly's back, guys. Rolly's back. He felt bad afterwards. He was like, I almost jinxed the Chiefs, but he's back.
Glad to be back, guys. I hope you guys still accept me after last night's mishap.
Rolly's here, and welcome anytime. Kay Chappell in Kansas City, Missouri. Chua Loris is Hamilton City, California. We got Football Boy in Huntsville, Alabama. B Sport in Greenwood, South Carolina. John Satterfield in Wichita, Kansas. Mike Tilson in Yukon, Oklahoma. Tony Fuentes says, I forgive you. RJ says, sorry, Rolly. Chiefs Production saying Rolly. James Hughes in Springdale, Arkansas. We got Caden from Ogden. RJ in Wisconsin. Gavin in Ohio. So welcome to everybody who is hanging out. By the way, we've got the we'll talk a little World Cup in a sec. Alexi Lawless has aged about 20 years in the last 4 years since the last World Cup. Has he not? I mean, he doesn't look very good.
No, you're right. He looks a lot older than
I'm not a big soccer guy,
usual.
but if you know like soccer, like you know who Alexi Lawless is, he looks like he's 60 now.
I kind of agree with
Last World Cup, you're like, oh, he looks great for his age. Now he looks bad for his age. That's not a good sign. Maybe that's why the USA tied today. All right, Tony Fuentes with the $5. Shout out Tony Fuentes. He said, I had a blast last night, Harrison. Thank you. Always have fun at the Chiefs Report. AFC West is ours. That's perfect segue into this next question. Shout out Tony. Is the AFC West over? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. It's over. It's over. Yeah, it's over. They're winning the West, 8-2. Chargers at 5-5, but the Chiefs have the tiebreaker as well. So I guess the magic number is 4. Once they get to 12 wins, it is done. But yeah, it's cooked. The Chargers are not winning the West. They could get a wild card spot certainly, but they're not winning the West. And the Raiders and Broncos, they're almost like mathematically eliminated already from winning the division. They're that far back. So get some shout outs here. Chronic says yes. Freddie says yes. Chiefs Production, yes. Brian, Nick, and Jeremiah saying yes. We got Angie saying yes. Cherie says yes. Gavin says, how do you ask a question? So if you use the hashtag Chiefs, here I'll put an example in there. Hashtag Chiefs sign OBJ question mark. If you use the hashtag Chiefs, you can see the example from Chiefs Report by Chat Sports there. And just ask your question. We will be able to get you on here. Rolly can throw this on real quick. 2 mailbags today. Just use hashtag Chiefs. Or if you use the Super Chat function like Tony Fuentes did, we can get those questions on the show as well. But those are the only 2 ways. If you ask a question without using the hashtag or without sending in a Super Chat, our software actually can't even pick it up. So hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Get those questions on the show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, and I appreciate Established Titles for sponsoring today's show. Established Titles allows you to add the title of Lord or Lady to your name, and here's how you can do it. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. This project is based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, One Tree Planted, and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. You could officially include the title of Lord or Lady on your credit card, your plane tickets, hell, even your dating profiles. It makes for a great last-minute gift, and the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will be effectively next to my plot, just within a few minutes of walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a lord or a lady, we can build our own little Chiefs Report kingdom. like I said, makes for a great last-minute gift this holiday season. Established Titles is actually running their massive holiday sale right now, Black Friday sale, with discounts up to 80% off. Plus, if you use the code CHAT, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/chat and use promo code CHAT to get 10% off today and become a lord or lady today as well. It's a cool gift. It's a fun gift this holiday season. All right, the Chiefs now face the Los Angeles Rams this upcoming weekend. So who do you got? You got the Chiefs or the Rams? Type KC for the Chiefs. Type LAR for the Los Angeles Rams, as the Chiefs will return home for this one. As the Rams, I think the Rams are cooked. Matt Stafford got banged up again with a concussion protocol situation. I think he might miss another game here. So KC for the Chiefs or LAR for the Rams. I think it's going to be Chiefs blowout city. Blowout city. Tony Fuentes, Kevin Gonzalez, KC from B Sports. We got your boy Corey, RJ, Chiefs Productions, Tony Fuentes, Mike Tilson. Mike Tilson says Chiefs 15-point favorite. Is that right? Actually, I hadn't looked at the line. Yeah, that is. Is it Bryce Perkins? Is he the backup in L.A.? That's not good. Braden Cox, Chiefs Production, Wyatt Burns, R. Marty, RJ, Wally. I will say when the Chiefs were major favorites against the Titans, that game went to overtime, but that Titans defense has given the Chiefs trouble in the past. This Rams team, they look checked out. They look checked out. Super Bowl hangover big time. Braden says KC. Tony says, do you think the Frogs will win the championship? Big 12 championship? Yeah, I think good chance. National title? I'm not ready to go there. Let's get into the thing first, Tony. Let's get into the thing first. Chiefs Production saying KC. Marcus says KC dominates. Will Odell Beckham Jr. sign with the Chiefs? The rumors continue to swirl. Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Will OBJ sign with Kansas City? That is our live poll question as well. 54% say yes. 46% say no. Go vote on the poll and let us know what you guys think. Someone says the college football playoff. Nope. Yeah, I wouldn't pick TCU to win the CFP. But if you get in it, you got a shot. That's all you can ask for. Tony says yes. Kevin says yes. Your boy Corey, yes. Chiefs Production says no. RJ says no. Dakota says no. Gary Holland says yes. Tony Fuentes says yes. RJ says no. Wally says yes. Do you think Juju will play against the Rams? I hope so, but I will say this. If there's any doubt there, just hold him out another week. You don't need Juju to beat the Rams. Don't need him to beat the Rams. K. Chappell says he's going to Dallas. He might. People are calling Cowboys-Giants the OBJ Bowl on Thanksgiving. Whoever wins gets OBJ, but you got the Chiefs just kind of lurking here. I don't know. Come win a Super Bowl, Odell. Come on. Come to Kansas City. Jimmy says no as well. Are you guys watching the World Cup? You guys tuning in? U.S. just drew with Wales. You guys tuning into the World Cup? Tony says he is. Keep the Y's and N's going. Y for yes, N for no. RJ says no. B Sports says I'm trying to. Minhee says no. Nah from Wally. No from Minhee. Brian says no. A lot of no's coming in. Yeah, you tie to Wales. It's a little deflating. So I don't care about soccer from RJ. I ain't no foot fairy fan. Hey, come on. That's a little harsh. Chiefs should get Tyler Lockett. That'd be fun in the offseason. That could be fun. All right, I was just curious if you guys were watching. All right, 2 mailbags today, like we mentioned earlier. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Get those questions on the show. Load them up so Nick Roloff, a.k.a. Rolly, our producer, can get those questions loaded up and we can answer them. We're actually going to do 2 mailbags today and 2 segments, so a longer show for you guys here on a Monday. And speaking of which, Victory Monday. Like the video if you're fired up after that win over the Chargers on Sunday Night Football. If you hear some background noise, that's the very mature Will Scott screaming in the other studio. He's live on our Dolphins channel. So like the video if you think the Chiefs are better than the Dolphins. That's all I'm going to say. Shout out to Tony, RJ for liking the video. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. All right, here we go. We're going to get things kicked off here on a Victory Monday, starting with the latest Chiefs news and rumors, so don't go anywhere here on the Chiefs Report. Before we jump into the latest Chiefs news and rumors, can we get to 34,000 subscribers before kickoff against the Rams on Sunday? We're only 127 away. This holiday week, Thanksgiving, that would make my week if we could get to 34,000. So if you want more Chiefs news and rumors on the daily here on the Chiefs Report, hit that subscribe button. We're bringing you videos every single day throughout the season and on into the offseason. Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Appreciate everybody tuning in to today's show. We got some news and rumors to catch you guys up on just a day or two after the Sunday Night Football win over the Los Angeles Chargers. And we got to hit you with an OBJ update. The latest going on with Odell Beckham Jr. Is OBJ scouting the Chiefs as he continues to figure out who he's going to sign with? He was tweeting about the Chiefs during Sunday Night Football, just throwing it out there. Now he's tweeting about other teams too, the Cowboys and, the Giants, some other things going on. But during Sunday Night Football, at the end of it, he said, "What a game. Beautiful execution." Obviously talking about Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. And then he said, "Hey, 15-87, too smooth." Had the butter emoji too. Our software didn't reciprocate it for some reason. But, hey, come play with Mahomes. Come play with Kelce, OBJ. Come on. How can you not want to play with these guys? The Chiefs are just a fun offense, and a lot of people are like, well, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen. The ball can't get spread around. Sure it can. Yeah, you may not go for 150 every week, but you're going to be put in a good position offensively with smart schematics and a hell of a quarterback, and you're going to compete for a championship. And then in the offseason, if you're healthy and you balled out, you can re-sign with the Chiefs or go to another team. But come chase a championship in KC, Odell. That is my pitch to you. What do you guys think? Will Odell Beckham Jr. sign with the Chiefs? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Predict it for us down in the comment section of this video. Will OBJ sign with KC? We'll find out at some point in the next couple weeks. Now, you look at this wide receiver depth chart, and you're getting a little banged up, right? Now, I think Juju will be back soon as he's dealing with the concussion, but still, we just saw with Matt Stafford, who the Chiefs are going to face this week, that you can hop right back into the concussion protocol. Mecole Hardman's on IR. He's going to miss another 3 weeks at least. Kadarius Toney had a hamstring injury. We'll see how severe that is, but he could be day-to-day, if not week-to-week. Chiefs are banged up at receiver right now. I mean, if they played a game today, MVS is the number one. That's not what you want. So, yeah, you got Kelce, and you can get by for now, but there's room for Odell Beckham Jr. That is the point I'm trying to make. He can be a factor on this offense moving forward, and I think it would be a lot of fun to see. And coming off that injury last year, if he wants to get paid big time next offseason, have a chance, go to a competent offense with a lethal quarterback and play at a high level. He was doing that with Stafford and the Rams last year when they got red hot. You could do the same thing with the Chiefs this year, Odell. I'm just saying, I think he could help the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs could help him as he tries to, prove he can be healthy and a dynamic player as he looks for a new contract in the 2023 offseason. OBJ to KC. Let's make it happen. Shout out to Established Titles. Maybe it could be Lord Odell Beckham Jr. playing in Kansas City. You could add the title of Lord or Lady with Established Titles, and here's how you do it, because Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping global reforestation efforts. This project is based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Eddleston, Scotland, and you'll get an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future, to support global reforestation efforts. You can officially include the title of Lord or Lady on your credit card, your plane tickets, your dating profiles, etc. It makes for a great last-minute gift, and the first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a lord or lady, we can build our own Chiefs Report kingdom. Like I said, it's a great last-minute holiday gift. Established Titles has actually started their early Black Friday sale leading up to Black Friday this week, and you can get deals up to 80% off, and we're throwing you an extra 10% off with code CHAT when you go to establishedtitles.com/chat. So plug in the code CHAT when you go to establishedtitles.com/chat. Support the channel, support our sponsors, and you can become a lord or a lady today. Let's talk about the rooks a little bit here, and specifically Isiah Pacheco, who I think the Chiefs have found their RB1. He's starting to settle into a little groove here over the last couple of games as that lead back for Kansas City. Isiah Pacheco doing some really, really good things in this offense. The last two games, he's got 189 yards on 31 carries, 6.1 average. Hasn't found the end zone, but he's running hard. I mean, producer Rolly and I were watching this game on Sunday Night Football, and, we kept making comparisons. He mentioned Jamal Charles. I don't think he has that type of speed, but he just looks the part, and he has looked the part. Now he's producing like it, right? Like 6 foot 205, and he's fast for weeks now. Going back to training camp, we're like, this guy looks like he could be the real deal. Well, now he's starting to run like it. The vision has improved. He's trusting the offensive line are going to create holes where they're supposed to, and he's hitting the hole hard, and he's getting yards. I mean, that's excuse me, that's what he's been able to do, and that's really, really nice to see. And this is actually an interesting note. I didn't even think this could be a possibility just because he's been such a rotation guy early on, but Arrowhead Live tweeted this out. I want to give them some love. He could get 1,000 yards this year. He has to average 88 yards per game the rest of the year, which, yeah, that's tough. I agree with them. But I also agree that it's doable if they keep running the football like this and if Mahomes keeps playing like he is to help open up the running game. And with CEH out, he's going to get even more carries. If this balance holds for the Chiefs offensively, watch out. I mean, if Pacheco's going to give you 75, 80-plus yards and this team's going to consistently run for 120 to 150 yards with what Mahomes and this Chiefs offense are going to do in the passing game, I don't know how you slow this team down. I mean, the Chiefs against the Chargers, it felt like they kind of played their B game and they put up 30 points. I mean, it's just they're so dynamic offensively and so hard to slow down. And Isiah Pacheco's emergence has given them another dynamic and dimension. Is Isiah Pacheco the Chiefs RB1 long term? Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. We'll see. He certainly needs to keep proving himself, but so far, so good since he's taken over as RB1. I really, really like what I've seen. Let me know what you guys think. We got to give Skyy Moore some love, too. Fellow rookie with more expectations coming into the year, right? I mean, he had what was considered a very strong training camp. The Chiefs spent a second-round pick on him, and through 9 games, he had essentially done nothing. I mean, let's be honest. But then last night, no Mecole Hardman, no Juju. Kadarius Toney goes out with a hamstring, and he steps up. 5 catches, 63 yards on 6 targets, and 2 or 3 of those were key first downs, too. I mean, these are not insignificant plays he was making, and he was getting fired up, which was nice to see because, you're a rookie. There's expectations. You haven't been playing at a level that, you probably expect out of yourself, and then you make some plays in a critical game. I mean, you should get excited. So that's really nice to see for Skyy Moore. It hadn't been the start to his career that he had hoped for, but I think this is a really nice step in a good direction here. All right, let's talk some injuries now. I've alluded to some a couple of times now with, CEH and obviously Moore stepping up for guys like Kadarius Toney who went out. They are starting to pile up a little bit on the injury front for this football team. You look at where things sit right now on the injury report. We know Mecole Hardman's on injured reserve with an abdomen injury. Kadarius Toney dealing with a hamstring injury. Now we'll see what his status is. Juju Smith-Schuster is still in the concussion protocol. I think he'll be able to play this week, but we'll see. Clyde Edwards-Helaire with an ankle. Juan Thornhill with the calf injury. He left that game. That could be a big deal. Hopefully Brian Cook and Deion Bush can step in and play well. Chris Lamon's also in the concussion protocol. Is it Ronald Jones' season? Maybe. He's been inactive all year, but Andy Reid said at the trade deadline they kept him for a reason. You never know when an injury pops up or when they may call his number. And I think with the high ankle sprain to CEH, it doesn't sound that good. I think we're going to see some Rojo soon. Now, what's his role going to be? I think he's your third back right now. Pacheco's your lead runner. McKinnon's your third down back, and your hurry-up offense back with his blitz pickup ability and his catching the football ability. But I do think Ronald Jones has a good chance of being active this next week. So we'll see if he brings something to the table as well, as some injuries have piled up. Speaking of running backs, could you go sign Melvin Gordon? Talk about this a little bit. The Broncos waived the veteran running back on Monday, as he's had 5 fumbles this year. I think he's lost 4 of those as well. Ian Rappaport breaking that news. Then he also tweeted this out following the release. Here's what Melvin Gordon had to say after his red zone fumble on Sunday. He says, "I was real sick about it. I shot myself in the foot, and I'm a little salty. I was feeling it today. It was his 5th of the season. There's a real chance he gets claimed." So Rappaport thinks he could get claimed. Waiver wire will pass 3 o'clock Central Time on Tuesday. Melvin Gordon here this year, 90 carries, 318 yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 fumbles. And if you do the quick math there, yards per carry, only 3.5. He has not been that dynamic this year, as he's been given the opportunity to be the lead back with Javonte Williams out, but Latavius Murray's been more effective in Denver, which is why they cut him. He's been bad this year. I mean, you can't really sugarcoat it. You can't find really a real reason for or excuse for him. He just hasn't been good. The ball security issues have been a problem. He's not finding big plays. Now, you know, if you're in the camp of having interest, here's a couple reasons why it could potentially make sense. Well, number one, Clyde Edwards-Helaire has a high ankle sprain. He's going to miss some time. If you think Gordon's better than Ronald Jones, that could be a reason. Number two, he's played in this division his entire career. Chargers, Broncos. He knows the division. He could give you some insight there. But if we're being honest, I don't want him taking snaps from Pacheco. I think Jerick McKinnon has a bigger value and worth on this team. I'm not that interested in Melvin Gordon at this point in his career. What do you guys think? Would you sign at Melvin Gordon? Type S for sign or P for pass. Let me know what your thoughts are when it comes to Melvin Gordon. Again, I'd probably pass, but you know, certainly nothing wrong. Say he clears waivers to working him out, right, and seeing him up close and making a decision at that point in time. All right, there you go. Some Chiefs news and rumors coming at you here on the Chiefs Report. Hit that subscribe button if you love Chiefs Kingdom, and if you want more content on the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to continue to bring you videos every single day, trying to get to 34,000 subs by this Sunday. All right, let's get some shout-outs here. Would you guys sign Melvin Gordon? S for sign, P for pass. Not seeing many signs. James says sign. Freddie says pass. Tony, Minhee, Texas Cowboy, Jeremiah, RJ, Kevin. We got Ronald all saying pass. I'm with y'all. I just, you know, this is the classic, oh, it's a big name, but the player's not really good anymore.
I mean, what we saw from Pacheco yesterday, why would you want Melvin Gordon?
Yeah, I mean, again, like, unless you just think he's a clear major upgrade from Ronald Jones, but, like, it's RB3. Like,
right.
you don't need Melvin Gordon, so.
Plus, I'd like to see Pacheco. I know McKinnon is that passing back, but maybe get
really
Pacheco, get some in the passing game. I get that he might not be the best pass blocker, but.
Yeah, I do think that's one area, and we saw that last night in that game, is that McKinnon in must-pass downs, he's going to get those snaps on third downs because he's great in blitz pickup, and he's a better pass catcher right now. Pacheco, not great in pass pro. Hey, he's a 7th-round rookie. He's not going to be a perfectly refined back. He got run over by Derwin James one time, but hey, I'm plenty happy with Pacheco. There's no doubt. Can we get a pass rusher? I mean, his name's Chris Jones. You see him wreck last night. How about Michael Dano with 2 sacks last night? Should have given him some love on the show. But, yeah, I mean, the pass rush is inconsistent, but I thought Frank Clark got close to Herbert a couple times. Chris Jones is back there. Dano had a good game. Dunlap's had his moments this year. It's not a great group, but I'd say it's, you know, average to above average. All right, it is mailbag time, one of 2 mailbags today. So use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Get your questions on the show. We need a lot more questions since we have 2 mailbags today. So use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat, and that way Rolly can find all of your questions. If you Super Chat, that's a guarantee to get on the show. If you use hashtag Chiefs, we'll get to as many of those as we can as well. So without further ado, let's jump into this Chiefs Report mailbag. Today's Chiefs Report is presented by Manscaped. You want to be feeling nice and fresh downstairs this holiday season, don't you? Well, products from Manscaped going to help you do that, especially the Lawnmower 4.0. I've got it right here. Big fan of this product. Going to keep you nice and smooth downstairs. Get 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com when you use promo code Chiefs. That is 20% off at manscaped.com, promo code Chiefs. We'll tell you a little bit more about the lawnmower later on in the program. Let's go to Freddie Martinez kicking off this mailbag. Do you think we will win out? I think we actually have the remaining Chiefs schedule graphic made. We can go to that. We'll get that on screen here in a second. I mean, odds are the Chiefs will probably slip up at least once, maybe even twice. You look at the schedule here. I'll just go game by game, right? Rams at home, you should win that game. Stafford's probably not even going to play. At the Bengals, I mean, I think that's the one, right? They beat you twice last year, regular season and that meltdown in the AFC title game. That's the game I'm looking at. Denver, they're a joke. At the Texans, bigger joke. Seahawks at home, I mean, it's at home, but Seattle's been sneaky. That could be a trap game. Broncos at home. And then at the Raiders, maybe you've clinched the number 1 seed, could lose that game. But I think at Bengals is the one, right? You look at this, it's clearly that's the game. If you're going to slip up, that seems like the most likely one. You get through that one, you could definitely win out and go 15-2. Wally with the question, should we go after a wide receiver next year in the draft or a running back? I mean, go for both, right? I mean, you have you're going to have a decent amount of draft picks, couple extra from that Tyreek Hill trade too in the middle rounds. You know, I was talking to a buddy about this. I know the Chiefs took Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round, and that was not worthwhile. But I would be semi-tempted to trading up for Bijan Robinson to put him into this offense. Like, you got Bijan Robinson in this offense with all the other pieces, and I know I like what Pacheco's doing, so I don't think the Chiefs would do it. But, man, there's no weaknesses at that point. Absolutely no weaknesses. But I don't think they'll draft it back in round 1. I could see like a mid-late round pick at running back, which you should do every year anyway. And then receiver, yeah, depending on what happens with Juju and Mecole Hardman, who are both free agents, yeah, that could be a position to add a piece. Kelly Uphouse, how long do you think Tony will be out, and do you think the Chiefs will trade CEH? Well, trade deadline's passed, but if you're talking about an offseason trade, I mean, what are you going to get for Clyde? I mean, conditional 6th, 7th? I mean, he's a rotation back. Those don't really have draft value. Maybe you get a late conditional, but if they want to try that, I'd be fine with that. I think there's a good chance he's not on this team next year. Don't know how long Tony will be out. I'll call him day-to-day for now, but hopefully he's back out there soon. Corny Collins says, who scares you more, Bills or Bengals? It's an interesting question because obviously the Bills have yet to beat you in a high leverage game. They've won at Arrowhead 2 years in a row in the regular season, but you know, it's one thing to win a game in October versus January, right? And the Bills have not proven to be able to beat the Chiefs in those big January, February type of matchups. Despite what happened last year with the Bengals beating the Chiefs twice, I do still think Buffalo is a bigger threat, though. Despite everything I just said, despite you know, kind of the history of it, I would much rather face Cincinnati in a high leverage game than Buffalo, just because as good as Burrow is, Allen's more dynamic, and that Bills defense is better, in my opinion. So that is how I feel. Cincinnati's dangerous, though, and they know they can beat the Chiefs. They've done it in the playoffs to go to a Super Bowl. So I do think these are two teams that you potentially may have to get through both come playoff time. Now, who do you guys think is the scarier team? Type BUF for the Buffalo Bills, type CIN for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll still lean Buffalo. They did beat you a few weeks back, but Cincinnati's obviously a scary team as well. They're very capable with Joe Burrow. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel because we post daily Chiefs videos here on the channel for 100% free. Hit that sub button, turn on the notification bell. That way you never miss a video here on the Chiefs Report. We're trying to get to 34,000 subs. Make sure you do not miss any of it. The real Chiefs fan, and then we'll get to that super chat. He says, Pacheco has potential to be a top 10 running back. Great vision, has some great bursts around the corner. Future of this backfield. He really looks the part. I know I just said the whole Bijan Robinson thing, but if Pacheco finishes this year strong, he's your guy. He's the lead back moving forward. There's no doubt. I mean, he's 6 foot, 205 pounds, and he runs a sub 4.4. He's got all the tools, attributes to be a great back. Now, he has to improve as a pass blocker, but that that's something that's true for most young running backs. Like, not many people come to the league like Zeke Elliott, and they're great in pass pro. You gotta work on those things. But I think his vision's gotten better. His burst has been there all season. I like what I've seen from Pacheco. Ryan with the super chat, appreciate that. What would a contract look like for Orlando Brown? A contract? I don't know, man. I think Orlando's played a little better the last couple weeks. This is starting to feel like last year, where the first half of the season you're like, guys, up and down. At moments he looks like an elite left tackle. At other moments he looks like a fringe starter. But now all of a sudden, second half of the season, after the bye week, he's had a couple of nice games here. I don't know. If he finishes this year really strong, I mean, $18, $20 million per year, something like that, he wants to be the highest paid left tackle. I don't think he's played up to that level, not consistently enough. So you can franchise tag him for $20 million for a second year. It was 16 this year, be 20 next year, so I think it's possible. Kevin Gonzalez, favorite for Super Bowl on the AFC side. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I know the Bills beat them in Arrowhead, but the Chiefs control their destiny in the AFC playoff picture, and you got to prove you can beat Kansas City at Arrowhead in the playoffs. Bengals did it last year. They deserve credit, but they've been inconsistent this year. I think at this exact moment in time, you've got to give the Chiefs the benefit of the doubt. They've been there. They've done that. They've gone to 4 straight AFC championship games, 2 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. So I think they're the favorite. They've got the MVP at quarterback right now. So I think Kansas City is the favorite to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Shout out to Manscaped for sponsoring today's show. And, hey, the Lawnmower 4.0 this holiday season, it's going to make sure you don't have a silent night, because there is nothing more scary for a female when you're getting frisky and then, things happen, clothes come off, and, there's hair everywhere, no bush. That is the theme here with Manscaped. You got to get rid of that. The Lawnmower 4.0 here from Manscaped. You look at this thing. It's a great-looking tool, and it's got 4 adjustable guards. You can get 20% off with code Chiefs. You can use it in the shower because it's water resistant. It's got a wireless charging station, which you can see right there. It's just a great product. I used to hate shaving downstairs because all that razor burn, that tug, and all that crap. It's really, really uncomfortable. Not with Manscaped. They've got great products. I never have any fears or worries when I use the Lawnmower 4.0. Been using mine for well over a year now. And, hey, in that time, my wife and I, she got pregnant. So, you put 2 and 2 together there. Don't have a silent night this holiday season. Oh, and by the way, Manscaped products, perfect stocking stuffer. You can take this out of the box, put it in the stocking. If you have a son or for your dad or whatever, any males in your life, it's a perfect holiday gift. Promo code Chiefs gets you 20% off at checkout when you go to manscaped.com. That link and promo code in the description of this video. Go check out Manscaped. They will not let you down. Shout out JJ Hackett with the super chat. Can the Chiefs beat the LA Rams? I mean, yes. I'd be disappointed if they didn't. This is not the Rams of old. They're beat up. Matthew Stafford, even when he's played, his arm looks shot. I think there's a lack of interest now that they've lost a lot of games here. So the Chiefs really should go beat the Rams by 2 touchdowns next Sunday. They should take care of business pretty easily. Luck Zach, who would you rather bring back next year, McCole Hardman or Juan Thornhill? It's a really good question. If I had more clarity on Kadarius Toney, I would easily say Thornhill. But I don't know. I still think McCole Hardman can have a role here, even if Toney's here. Jet sweep game. Just because Toney can do that doesn't mean Hardman can't and isn't worth bringing back. I think he's improved as a route runner this year. That's something we criticized him for years. I think he's gotten better at it. He's twitchy. He's explosive. I like Juan Thornhill. I don't know what he's going to command in a contract. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there, because you also have Brian Cook waiting in the reins, a second, third-round rookie there who's played a decent amount this year. Is he ready for a bigger role? Perhaps. So we'll see. I think both guys could be back. I think both guys could be gone. It'll just depend on money and what Brett Veach decides to do. Mike Tilson, Mahomes has to be the MVP frontrunner. Do you think he wins it? He's the clear frontrunner right now. He leads the NFL in passing and passing touchdowns. After Sunday Night Football, he now has 28 touchdowns throwing through 10 games. So he's right around that 50-ish range right now, maybe like 47, 48. He's on pace. I think he's actually on pace to set the passing yards record in a single season. He's almost 5,600 pace, so he's been phenomenal. Josh Allen's had a good year, but he's lost a couple of weird games as of late. Jalen Hurts, he's been a nice story, good year, but come on, let's be real. Like Jalen Hurts or Patrick Mahomes, who's been the better player? Who is the more valuable player? It's clearly Mahomes. So, yeah, I think he's the front runner, and I do think he'll win it unless he has an injury or just falls off a cliff, which nothing in his career would suggest that would happen. Shout out your favorite Chiefs player, current or all-time. It does not matter. You can even do both. You could shout out your current favorite and your all-time favorite if you want to. I'll be reading your comments, so I'll be curious to see what names are dropped. Shout out your favorite Chiefs player ever. Can be current or all-time. Tony Fuentes, if we get OBJ, will we go to the Super Bowl? I think they have a good chance with or without him, but I think he's someone who could help. He could be an X factor in a playoff game potentially. He could be a guy that makes some big catches, when the game's hanging in the balance. You can't ever have enough weapons. It's kind of like defensive coaches always say, you can't have enough pass rushers, can't have enough corners, because you just need as many as possible. So I think that bringing Beckham in could only help, and if for some reason he doesn't fit into the locker room, you can cut him. No big deal. Terry Singleton, do you think the Chiefs will rest Juju and Tony to get them ready for the Bengals? It's possible. If you're comfortable – I'll say this. If Matthew Stafford has no chance of playing in this game against the Chiefs, then I would – if guys are on the fence health-wise, I would rest them, because Mahomes and these guys can beat the Rams even if it's, Justin Watson, Skyy Moore, and MVS playing with Kelce. Like, they'll get through this game, especially if Stafford's out. Obviously, you can't afford to lose this game because you're only a half game up on teams like the Dolphins and the Bills and Tennessee and so forth. But you could afford to rest some guys if Stafford does not play. Appreciate all the questions here. If you have more, you can DM me on Twitter or Instagram. @HGramNFL is the handle for both platforms. I'm an open book. Chiefs questions, hit me up. @HGramNFL on Twitter and on Instagram. And don't forget, we'll get to another mailbag coming up here in a little bit, but shout out your favorite Chiefs player. I'll get some shout-outs going. Tony says Lenny Dawson. Texas Cowboys says Derek Thomas. Justin Houston from RJ. Man, Justin Houston is having a hell of a year. Like, remember when the Chiefs kind of thought he was cooked, cut him, had 2 good years in Indianapolis, decent with the Ravens last year. Ravens brought him back. He's having another great year. Good for him, man. Jamal Charles from Jimmy. Kevin says Jamal Charles and Patrick Mahomes. Favorite all-time. Current, number 87, a little Travis Kelce love. I mean, Travis Kelce, guys. I've said it for over a year now. Travis Kelce is the greatest receiving tight end of all time. Is he the greatest overall? I don't know. Gronk's peak was pretty stellar. Tony Gonzalez, is an all-time great. I don't know, man. We've never seen a tight end do what Kelce can do in terms of, especially after the catch. I mean, he is running away from Derwin James. That's crazy. He should not be pulling away from Derwin James, but he just does it. He just does it. Someone says that man is playing out of his mind. 11 touchdowns in 10 games for Kelce this year. That's absurd. That is absurd. The human joystick, great call. Someone says, what do you think? It's got to be #Chiefs, by the way, Aiden. What do you think of Trent McDuffie so far? I like what I've seen from McDuffie. I think he's pretty solid. My chat is frozen here. Oh, I lost internet. What the hell is going on? Give me a second, guys. My chat just disappeared.
Well, I'll give some shout-outs. I see Dakota Wolf saying Warren Moon. Tom saying Trent Green and Priest Holmes. Those are 2 good ones.
Priest Holmes, underrated Chiefs player. Had some injuries, but he was a beast at Texas back in the late 90s, early 2000s too. Great college career. Chiefs have always had some good backs. Priest Holmes, Jamal Charles, that short tenure, Larry Johnson. Remember that one year when Larry Johnson took over for Priest Holmes and ran for 1,700 yards in the second half of the season? That was crazy. All right, guys, I'm back up. Got my chat going again. So here's what we're about to do. Coming up on today's show, we are going to do a Chiefs playoff picture video, where things sit through Week 11, who's in the hunt, who's not, what the Chiefs need to do to maintain the number 1 seed. We usually do these kind of videos as we get later into the season to kind of keep you guys in the loop of where Kansas City sits. So that is what we are going to do coming up on today's show. So stick with us here as we're going to break down a bunch of scenarios, look at some remaining schedules for some teams, and it'll be a lot of fun. So here we go, Chiefs Report playoff picture time. Welcome into the Chiefs Report. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Today's show is presented by Manscaped. Manscaped this holiday season, going to be the perfect gift for all males in your life. I hate shopping for my dad. I really do. But Manscaped has good gifts because they have ball hair trimmers, the Lawnmower 4.0, a nose and ear hair trimmer, the Weed Whacker, and other males just needs, right? Stuff you need to stay, hygienic and keep your body sharp as well. Manscaped.com. We all need it in our lives, especially as we get older, gentlemen. 20% off, free shipping when you use promo code Chiefs. Go check it out. We'll tell you guys a little bit more about some of their specific products later on in the show. All right, appreciate everybody for tuning in to today's Chiefs Report. On the show today, we are going to take a look at an updated look at the AFC playoff picture, where things sit heading into Week 12 after Week 11, as, we're kind of not hitting quite the final stretch, but teams are starting to separate, right? Like, you look at this, and certain teams are out of it, right? Like the Texans, yeah, we'll see you next year. The Steelers, they're not a factor. The Jags, there's a lot of teams that are out of the hunt. Now, there's still a lot to play for, right? I mean, you look at this. You got 5 teams that are 7-3 or better. Chiefs on top at 8-2. Bengals at 6-4, Jets at 6-4, Chargers at 5-5 in the hunt. A lot of things to go through. So I just kind of wanted to take a look at some remaining schedules, some scenarios for how the Chiefs can get that number 1 seed. Here's what we know for sure. The Chiefs control their own destiny in the AFC. They're a game up on every single team right now. So what that means is if they win out, they get the number 1 seed. If they win out except one game, they probably get the number 1 seed too, unless Buffalo wins out, and then they would have the tiebreaker because the Bills didn't win the head-to-head, but the Chiefs have the head-to-head over the Titans, for example. You look at Kansas City's remaining schedule for their final 7 games as they sit at 7-2, or 8-2 now. Rams at home, that should be a green check mark easily. Rams are beat up. Matthew Stafford, good chance he won't even play. At Cincinnati in Week 13. That's obviously the game. Back to that in a second. At Broncos Week 14. Come on. Can't be losing to Nate Hackett. At the Texans in Week 15. Seahawks at home in Week 16. Could be a trap game. They've been playing some good ball this year. Broncos at home Week 17. At the Raiders in Week 18. You look at this remaining schedule, it's the Bengals. That's the one game where you're like, it's on the road. They beat you twice last year. You could lose that game. I think it's pretty important for the Chiefs to beat the Bengals because not that that monkey's on their back, but just the way they lost to the Bengals, especially in the AFC Championship game last year. I mean, that left a sour taste in all of Chiefs Kingdom's mouths, especially those players and coaches. There was rumors of, a halftime blow-up after what happened at the end of the half where, they could have kicked the field goal. They decided to stay on the field. They got tackled in play and left some points out there. Rumors of Eric Bieniemy and Kafka, who's gone now, and Mahomes all getting into an argument, yada, yada, yada. You blow that game. That didn't feel good. It's a new year, different situation, but I do think it's important to win this game on the road. If nothing else, A, to maintain the number 1 seed in the AFC, but B, just to kind of be like, not that was a fluke last year, but you don't want to be going into the playoffs this year potentially facing Cincinnati, and you've lost 3 straight to them. That's not what you want. Now, will the Chiefs get the number 1 seed in the AFC? Again, they control their fate. Type Y for yes, type in for no. Do you think the Chiefs will get that top seed? Let us know what you guys think, and after this YouTube ad break, we'll start looking at some other teams that are in the mix. All right, the Dolphins' remaining schedule is they currently sit with the 2 seed, the 7-3 right now on top of the AFC East. They have the tiebreaker over Buffalo because of a head-to-head result. They still got some tough games, right? Texans at home this week, they'll win that one, obviously. But then they go to the 49ers. That's a tough game. At the Chargers, tough game. At the Bills, very tough game. Packers at home, we'll see where Green Bay sits at that point, but anytime you face Aaron Rodgers, I know he hasn't been very good this year. You can't just assume it's a gimme. At the Patriots, tough game, very good defense. And then the Jets at home, who, listen, the Jets, they're scrappy. good defensively. Zach Wilson sucks, and he has some explaining to do for what he said after their last loss, but that's not a gimme. This is a tough remaining schedule, man. I mean, I could see the Dolphins going 3-4, 4-3. I don't view them as a real threat to overtake the Chiefs in the AFC. Are they, at least in the regular season? Are they a contender? Yes. Is that offense dynamic with Tua, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle? No doubt about it. Well, could they be a dangerous team to face in the playoffs? Absolutely. Like Tyreek coming back to Arrowhead, that has fireworks written all over. But in terms of catching the Chiefs for the number 1 seed, I don't view them as a dangerous team right now because there's too many tough games on that schedule. I mean, I think they lose at least 2 more times, and I don't think the Chiefs lose 3 more times. And that's what it would take for the Dolphins to overtake Kansas City, assuming the Dolphins lose a couple of games here. Manscaped is today's sponsor on the Chiefs Report, and they have a ton of cool products, including the Lawnmower 4.0, which is a part of the Performance Package, by the way, which comes with a lot of items. But the Lawnmower first, got it right here in this pristine box. I mean, it's an excellent tool to shave your balls downstairs. I'm not afraid to say it. That's what we got to do, gentlemen. You can't be having the Amazon rainforest down there. And this holiday season, if you don't know what to get the males in your life, or if you're looking for someone to give you a present, get the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped and get some other gifts as well. You can get the crop stuff to rub on your balls, like crop exfoliator, which is this product. You kind of rub it downstairs, going to keep your skin nice and smooth after you use the Lawnmower 4.0. Crop gel as well. It's very important. It's like deodorant. You put it under your arms so you don't smell like BO. Have you ever worked out? I hope the answer is yes, because afterwards, when you get undressed, you're about to go in the shower, you know what that smell is? It's your junk downstairs because you're not keeping it nice and fresh. These products will help you do it. And guess what? I'm going to drop them. Perfect stocking stuffers this Christmas season. Throw them in there. You'll be good to go for the holidays. You're going to wake up on Christmas, and your son, your uncle, your brother is going to open that and be like, yes, this is what I've been wanting. Manscaped.com, 20% off, plus free shipping when you use promo code Chiefs. Check out all their products. They are fantastic. All right, let's talk about Buffalo, who technically is the 5 seed right now, but they're tied with the Dolphins at 7-3, and they've got a head-to-head, so they control their destiny in the AFC East, as do the Dolphins. Winner of that game will be in a good position. They go to Detroit this week, where they actually were just in Detroit to face the Browns for that neutral site game after the snow situation. They should win that game. At the Patriots, that'll be tricky. It's going to be a tough one. Jets at home, they should win that game, especially after losing the first time. They should beat them this time, especially at home. Dolphins at home, that's obviously the game in that division to monitor. At the Bears, that should be an easy win. At the Bengals in Week 17, that should be a fun one. And then Patriots at home, Week 18. I wouldn't say it's a easy schedule. I think it's a tick easier than what Miami has remaining, and I just think Buffalo is going to beat Miami at home. Late in the season, it's going to be cold. I think the Bills are going to be able to handle that better than Miami will. I think they win the East still, which means they're probably still the biggest threat to catch up to you for that number 1 seed because they did beat the Chiefs head-to-head. So Buffalo, every week you're cheering for who they play against because they're the team that could catch up to you. AFC East champs. All 4 teams are 6-4 or 7-3. They're technically all just a game apart. Bills and Dolphins at 7-3. Jets and Patriots at 6-4. Type BUF if you think it'll be the Bills. Type MIA if you think it'll be the Dolphins. Again, both those teams 7-3. Type NYJ if you think it'll be the New York Jets. Or type NE if you think it's going to be the Patriots. Both those teams 6-4. I think it'll be the Bills. Let me know who you guys think wins that division. Now, subscribe to the Chiefs Report today. Join the family here on the channel because any and all are welcome, especially if you're part of Chiefs Kingdom. You can't be, like a Chargers fan or something like that. But, hey, we're here all season long. Every single day we're hitting you guys with the video, latest news, rumors. We'll do more playoff picture updates throughout the season as well. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Don't miss any of our coverage. All you got to do is subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's talk about the Ravens now. Here's what they've got remaining is they're also 7-3, kind of just quietly, kind of rolling along. Kind of a weird win over the Panthers on Sunday, 13-3, but got it done. At the Jags this week, that's a game they should win. Broncos at home, at the Steelers, at the Browns. We'll see what that Deshaun Watson situation is, but those 4 games look very winnable coming up here, but it is the NFL. Falcons at home, Steelers at home, at the Bengals. You look at some of these remaining schedules for these teams, that's one of the easier ones, but luckily for the Chiefs, Baltimore just doesn't scare me. Like, they're not built to beat the Chiefs in a playoff game. Like, you get a lead on them, can Lamar and that below-average receiving core throw themselves back into a game. We just haven't seen it. And this is not a Lamar can't throw. That's not what it is. The receivers stink there. Like, Greg Roman is not a passing play caller. Like, he doesn't design a good passing offense. They can run it if you get down on Baltimore, but we know the Chiefs can come back. Patrick Mahomes is above 500 in his career when he trails by 10 points or more. So Baltimore is not a team that worries me. Could they get the number 1 seed with that remaining schedule? Yeah, it's possible. But if you play them in the playoffs, that's not a team I'm super concerned about. Titans remaining schedule. They're also 7-3. Chiefs do have the head-to-head, so kind of a game and a half up, if you will. Bengals at home this week. That'll be an interesting game. I'm curious to see how that one plays out, honestly, because the Titans got that really good defense. Bengals got that really good offense. At the Eagles, so you got a couple tough ones here. Jags at home. At the Chargers, that'll be an interesting one. Chargers got to start winning some games to get back into the wild card hunt. Texans at home, Cowboys at home, another tough one there. Then at the Jags, so kind of a mixed bag. Some tough ones and then some ones they should handle. Jags, Texans, Jags twice actually. What I will say is we've seen it. The Titans defense has given the Chiefs issues in the past. Last year, 27-3, worst game of Mahomes' career in the regular season. Now, that's kind of when the Chiefs were going through a funk early on, but still, we saw it a couple weeks ago. Malik Willis got the start. That was, a 14-point spread or whatever, and that game goes to overtime. I mean, the Chiefs had to earn every yard in that game. Mike Vrabel's defense is built to at least challenge the Chiefs. Now, I think Kansas City would play better this time around, but still, that's a team come playoff time. Like, I would much rather play Baltimore than Tennessee. We'll ask you that question right now. It sounds weird. You're like, you'd rather play Lamar Jackson than Ryan Tannehill? The answer is yes, because I don't think that Ravens defense can have the impact that the Titans did. What the Titans have been able to do in the past, they've done it a couple times now, they can get a somewhat consistent pressure by only bringing their front 4, and that is your only chance against Mahomes. If you can get home with 4 consistently, you have a shot. If not, if you blitz or if you drop 8, you're going to get carved. You have to get home with 4. That's been the only formula that even sometimes has a chance to work against Mahomes, and Tennessee's been able to do it. So who scares you more? Type BAL for the Baltimore Ravens or type TEN for the Tennessee Titans. All right, so you look back at the playoff picture here. We kind of broke down all the teams with 7 wins or more in terms of who could catch the Chiefs because, yeah, you face Cincinnati, but I don't think the Bengals are a real threat to, get the number 1 seed in the AFC. Already have 4 losses. Jets with 4 losses. Bengals are a scary team, but not in terms of the playoff picture to get that top seed. But you really look at this, top 7 right now, Jets at 6-4, outside looking in, Chargers at 5-5, everybody else 3 wins or less. You're looking at 9 teams for 7 spots. I mean, that's really where we're at. 9 teams for 7 spots, and you could probably narrow it down even more. You're probably talking about Cincinnati, New England, the Chargers, and the Jets fighting for the final 2 spots. I mean, that's really what this is going to come down to. I think the Bengals will be one of those teams. So then it's Patriots, Jets, or Chargers. Who gets the last spot? That's probably what it's going to come down to. And then obviously depending on the wins and losses the rest of the way, that'll determine the seeding specifically. But 9 teams alive for 7 spots. It'll be fascinating to see how it plays out in the AFC. All right, subscribe today. We appreciate everybody for tuning in to the show. If you enjoyed today's video, let me know, and we'll do more of these scenarios moving forward as, pretty soon it'll be the final few weeks of the season, and then it'll be playoff time, which is when things really ramp up here at the Chiefs Report. So subscribe, turn on noties, don't miss any of our coverage. All right, will the Chiefs get the number 1 seed in the AFC? Type Y for yes, type N for no. We'll get some shout-outs here, and then we got one more mailbag before we sign off. Tony says yes. Freddie, yes. Kyle McQueen, JJ Hackett, Texas Cowboy, RJ, all saying yes. I think they do too. I just think that they're starting to hit their stride. They found a way to win some close, important games over the Titans and the Chargers. I think they blow out the Rams this week. I think the Chiefs will get it. They might lose one more game. 2 at most. I think if they lose 1 or less, they're for sure getting the number 1 seed. If they lose 2 or more, Buffalo could sneak up there, but we'll see. I feel good about their chances. All right, mailbag time. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Get those questions in on the show, and we will answer as many as possible. If you Super Chat, you can skip the line, and we'll be sure to answer those. If you use the function hashtag Chiefs, then that is a good way to get on the show as well. So wrap things up with the mailbag, answer some questions for 10 minutes or so, and then we're going to get out of here. So load up those questions, hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. Sorry, getting updates on my phone, making sure. Oh, my goodness. Robert Saleh not committing to Zach Wilson this week.
That's hilarious.
Flacco time. What did I say earlier, Rolly? I said there's an argument to be made that they should go back to Joe Flacco.
Well, listen, Chiefs fans, you probably weren't paying attention.
Flacco and Simeon is good.
Oh, my. I didn't even think about this. This could be Trevor Siemian, Joe Flacco this week because Justin Fields is banged up, too.
Who could play worse?
Oh, man.
Both Denver Broncos legends.
Oh, man.
Well, you were talking earlier, like, Zach Wilson, if you guys didn't see, took no blame for how bad the offense played.
That's not what a franchise QB
Yeah, he
would
was asked
say.
the question, do you feel like the offense held the defense back? And
Or
if you
let
didn't
the
know
defense
that, the
down.
defense gave up 3 points to the New England Patriots, and he said no.
He went 9 for 22 for 75 yards.
And then but two Jets defensive players, the stud rookie Sauce Gardner, the corner, and John Franklin Myers, the defensive end, liked a tweet saying that when Josh Allen lost to the Jets, he took responsibility for playing bad. But when Zach Wilson plays bad, he took no responsibility. So his own teammates were giving him shots. They came out and said they accidentally liked it. But what are the odds? Two players accidentally like the same tweet,
The
dogging
PR
their
person
quarterback.
called them and was like, this is what you say. Like, yeah.
I mean, that is just an absolute disaster.
Which is crazy because they're 6-4. Like, they're in the playoff fight and they're just having all these. Wilson just stinks.
He's so bad.
That's the story here. Like, and they're stuck because like they're too good to get one of the QBs in the draft next year. Like, they're not gonna. Even if they lose out, they're not getting a top 3 pick.
What they need to
they're
do.
They're gonna have to go get like Garoppolo or something.
That's exactly right. They need to get a veteran quarterback that won't lose them games, and then just see what happens from there. Or maybe they're in the market if a star quarterback ever comes in the trade market. Maybe they're the first ones to line up.
Yeah. Wow. What a mess for the Jets. All right. Hashtag Chiefs Super Chat. We'll answer some questions. I see a few. JJ Hackett, I see you put a space between hashtag Chiefs, hashtag and Chiefs. Oh, you just deleted it. I think you realized it. Hashtag Chiefs Super Chat. Let's load them up. Rolly's going to get them on screen, and then we will get out of here in a few minutes. So hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get your questions answered here on the Chiefs Report today when Nick Rolly is ready. He's going to give me the green light. He's scrambled from this Joe Flacco, Zach Wilson situation. So keep loading them up. Hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat. What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? It is mailbag time here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. And on today's show, we are going to answer all of your questions. So use hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat, and we'll get to as many as we possibly can. Let's go to Brian Gales. Who would you put on the Chiefs Mount Rushmore for defense? Like all time, I mean, Derek Thomas leads the way, right? Derek Johnson's up there. He was a glue guy. Justin Houston, glue guy. I'm not going to pull names from like the 60s and 70s or anything like that. I think a guy like Chris Jones could make his way there. Like, say he plays his whole career with the Chiefs or most of it and racks up over 100 sacks. I think he's a guy who could get there. Oh, Eric Berry is in that convo. Had he never had injuries, I mean, he was one of the best safeties, if not the best in the game for a period of time. So those are some names that I would throw in there. Jason Tyler, what is our Achilles heel come January, if any? The last couple weeks it hasn't been an issue, but at times this year, the Chiefs have run into a problem. We saw it in the Tennessee game where they literally can't get any yards on the ground, where they hand it off and it's 1 yard or less, losing yards. I still think even with Mahomes, at times when like, hey, we need to get 2 yards, can we hand the ball off and get 2 yards? Now, yeah, like I'm comfortable putting the ball in Mahomes' hands in those situations, but you can't throw the ball 70 times a game. Like you have to have some semblance of balance. So if there's anything where I'm like, oh, that could be a problem, I would say that. Defensively, these young corners have played well, but our 2-3 rookie corner is going to hold up, against Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Stephon Diggs, guys of that caliber. I think those are a couple areas that I would monitor. Kelly Uphouse, best division, worst division. You know what's funny? We were talking about this in the Chat Sports office that coming into this year, the entire AFC West could make the playoffs. Well, maybe only one team, the Chiefs, end up making it. Now, the AFC West isn't the worst division, but I would say the worst division this year is the NFC South. In the AFC, it's probably the AFC South. And the best divisions are probably the NFC East, weirdly enough, and the AFC East. AFC East is all 6-4 or better. So the East divisions are the best. South divisions are the worst. It's kind of easy this year. Silly Steve, if Odell Beckham doesn't pick the Chiefs, who do you want him to choose? So, yeah, I've thought about this too. Like, if the Chiefs don't get him, and look, like, there's a better chance they don't get him than they do if the reports of 5 teams being in the mix is accurate. These 5 teams right here, the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, the Buffalo Bills, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Kansas City Chiefs, if that is accurate, if he doesn't pick the Chiefs, just don't go to Buffalo. Any of the other ones are fine with me. NFC opponent, at worst, you'd have to face them in the Super Bowl. Honestly, if I had to pick, I'd pick the Giants because I don't think the Giants, even with Beckham, have any chance of making the Super Bowl. I think the Niners or Cowboys, if things bounce their way, they could represent the NFC. I don't think the Giants are there yet. But I still want the Chiefs to get them. But if they don't, just keep them away from Buffalo. Keep them away from Buffalo. Prediction time. Which team will sign Odell Beckham Jr.? What do you guys think? Who will end up signing OBJ? My gut says Dallas. He seems like he wants that spotlight, but I'd love to have him here in Kansas City. Dale Webb Jr., what position do the Chiefs need to improve in the offseason? Well, wide receiver is a position to watch, not because it's weak, but just because you have free agents. Juju, Hardman, or a couple. Justin Watson for a free agent. So you'll obviously have to, address that spot. And if you let those guys walk, you're going to need at least one receiver. I think edge rusher is a spot to keep an eye on for sure. Frank Clark could be, on the chopping block again. His contract is cuttable, so we'll see. Edge rusher is for sure a position that I would heavily monitor. From RJ, any updates on the injuries for McCole Hardman, Juju, and Kadarius Toney? Juju, as we're filming this, and depending on when this goes out later in the week, this answer could be different, but he's been dealing with a concussion issue. McCole Hardman, he's on IR, so he's going to miss at least 3 more games. And then Kadarius Toney, kind of in that day-to-day category right now with the hamstring injury. From Wally, what about Marcus Davenport next season, free agent or Barkley? Saquon, I assume who you're talking about there. But Davenport, free agent, edge rusher. If the contract is reasonable, I would bring him in. Maybe he gets a Juju type of deal, like a 1-year, $10 million prove-it year, because he was great last year, has not been very good this year. Maybe you could get him on one of those. And then Saquon, it'd be fun, I can't lie. But if Pacheco keeps emerging, you don't need to go overpay for Saquon. Some team's going to throw him $10, $12 million per year, and it might just end up being the Giants. Established Titles is sponsoring today's show here on the Chiefs Report, and let me tell you guys a little bit about them as you can become a lord or a lady today. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland, which you can see on your screen right now, while helping global reforestation efforts. This project is based on a historic Scottish customs where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with a crest. We plant a tree with every order and work with global charities like One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future to support those global reforestation efforts. You could officially include the title of Lord or Lady on your credit card, your plane tickets, your dating profiles, etc. It makes for a great last-minute gift. The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot just within a few minutes of walking distance. Depending on how many of you want to become a lord or a lady, we can build our own Chiefs Report kingdom. It makes for a great last-minute gift. Established Titles is actually running a massive holiday sale with deals up to 80% off, and we're going to throw you an extra 10% off with promo code CHAT when you go to establishedtitles.com/chat. That is establishedtitles.com/chat, promo code CHAT to get you an extra 10% off. We'll answer a few more questions here. Joe Klein, will the Chiefs re-sign Juju? I'd like to bring him back. Hopefully this concussion thing isn't something that lingers, but he was playing at a really good level, kind of a tier 2 number 1 receiver. Like, I've explained this a couple times. Like, I think there's different levels of number 1 receivers. Like, there's the Tyreek Hills, the DeAndre Hopkins, the insert elite, Jamar Chase, the top end number one receivers, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs. And then there's guys like, Juju, the way he's playing this year. Like, he's a number one for some teams. The Chiefs this year he would be. Now, Kelce's the number one, but at receiver, Juju was playing like that, 1,100-yard type of season is what he's been on pace for before the injury. So, yeah, I'd like to bring him back. I think he's been playing well. I don't know what his market will look like. I mean, is he going to get $20 million per year? If he does, maybe that's a little too expensive, but I've been a fan of what he's done in this offense. Kenny Smith, do you think Pacheco has taken Clyde's spot as number one running back and will start the remaining games? Absolutely. Now, Clyde has a high ankle sprain now. We'll see how much time he misses, but even before then, Pacheco had been given the starting role, and I do think he'll be the starter the rest of the year. Jarrett McKinnon will have a significant role in this football team, but Pacheco is the lead back right now. There's no doubt. Tassie Perkins, my first question ever on YouTube. Shout out Tassie. Type Tassie in the comments. Is Kansas City's tendency to give up big plays in the secondary its Achilles heel? Give them a few to the Chargers. I mean, yeah, you're playing young corners. I think the safety play has been a little inconsistent. Justin Reed's been okay. He hasn't been great. I don't think he's lived up to that contract yet. So I do think that's a spot where, you hope to play a little bit better. But I wouldn't call it an Achilles heel. Like, I don't think it's some massive problem week in and week out. But you go up against some big-time receivers, this secondary is prone to give up some big plays. Kevin Gonzalez, talk about Kelce having an insane season. I mean, what's there to say, right? The guy has 11 touchdowns in 10 games. I mean, let me just pull up the raw stats real quick as I do this, right? Travis Kelce in 10 games this year. He's got 69 catches, very nice, 855 yards, and 11 touchdowns. So that's through 10 games. Obviously, 7 or more to go. He's basically on pace. Quick math here. I'm going to kind of spitball this. For like 115 catches, 1,400 yards, and 17 touchdowns. That is an insane season for a tight end. And by the way, it would be his, I think 7,000-yard season in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, number 7. Only other tight ends have done 3 seasons in a row with 1,000 or more. This is about to be 7. He's unbelievable. I think he's the best receiving tight end of all time. He's in the conversation for the greatest tight end of all time. He's running away from defensive backs at 33 years old. He is insane after the catch. It's unreal, man. Don't take it for granted, because what this guy is doing we've never seen it before. Never miss a video here on the Chiefs Report. All you got to do, subscribe, turn on notifications. You click that bell and select all. Boom, you'll be good to go here on the Chiefs Report. So hit that sub button and join the movement here at the Kansas City Chiefs Report. Anthony Madrano, do you think the Chiefs are better than they were last year? I think they've been more consistent this year. I mean, last year they started 3-4 and were, kind of shooting themselves in the foot. Obviously finished strong, finished 12-5, 2 seed, and should have gone to the Super Bowl, had the Bengals beat, obviously, but I do think they're playing with a little bit more of an edge this year than they did last year. Obviously, they don't have Tyreek Hill this year, but they have a more volume of weapons. I think the running game could be better, even though it's been very up and down. I think Pacheco gives you a chance to be better there. I do think the defense is better, and that's a big deal. It's not a great defense, but it's better than it was last year, and I think that's very, very important. Mike Tilson, how about the Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl? That'd be fun. That would be fun, and I think the Chiefs would win that Super Bowl. I'm not saying the Eagles are frauds. I think they're a really good team, but I think Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, 2 weeks of prep, Super Bowl, I mean, I'll take the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs would win that game by 7 to 12 points, if I'm being completely honest. All right, Thanksgiving is here. Depending on when you're watching this, it may have already come and passed. But what's your favorite Thanksgiving food? It can be a main dish. It can be a side, dessert. Get a little bit of everything here. Rolly, do you have a favorite Thanksgiving dish? We got producer Nick producing this thing.
I personally just like the turkey.
You're just a turkey guy?
I'm just a basic guy.
Fried, smoked, or just any way?
I believe it.
Baked?
Baked is the way my family does it.
Baked turkey guy? Okay. I like turkey. I do think it's a bit overrated, but for Thanksgiving, it's always good. I'm a big sides guy. Like, I love the mashed potatoes, the mac and cheese, all that stuff. Let me know what your favorite Thanksgiving food is. Nick Yates, give Willie and Bolton long-term extensions and trade up to get Tennessee receiver Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt would be lit in this offense. Hyatt's. Jalen Hyatt is having a Jamar Chase caliber season at Tennessee. Now, I don't think he's quite the prospect Chase was, but he's incredible. He's got, 15 or 16 touchdowns or whatever it is. He's having a crazy year. It was a bummer to see Tennessee quarterback Hendon Hooker tear his ACL, but Hyatt's been a great weapon there, and Tennessee's been a fun team to watch. Dale Webb Jr. gets the final word here. If the Chiefs don't sign OBJ, what are the chances they can trade him for DeAndre Hopkins for the Cardinals? What are the chances they could trade for Hopkins? I don't know why the Cardinals would trade D-Hop. It would cost you – this isn't Bill O'Brien doing trade negotiations, so it's going to cost you at least a first, probably a first and a third, first and a second. He'd be incredible here, but that seems unlikely. I don't think that they're going to trade Hopkins, the Cardinals. That being said. So, all right, thanks for all the questions today, guys. You guys killed it. At HGramNFL, Twitter and Instagram. You can follow me over there. Ask me Chiefs, NFL, non-sports related questions. I'm always catching up on my DMs every few days. So hit me up over there if you have any more questions about the Chiefs or anything else. I will try to get back to you, and we'll see you next time here on the Chiefs Report. All right, before we sign off on live, round of applause to everybody. Longer live show today, so shout out to you guys, to the Kingdom. Shout out Nick Roloff for producing. Get a few shout outs for this Thanksgiving food, and then we're going to get out of here. RJ says cake, pumpkin pie from Tony, cranberries from Ed. I'm not a cranberry guy. You a cranberry guy?
I do not like cranberry.
Yeah, I don't think, cranberry drink is all right.
Okay, so it's funny you bring that up because I love a mix of cranberry and something else juice. Like one of my favorite is cranberry grape juice combo.
Okay.
I think that's unbelievable. One that I recently
mix in a little alcohol bevy.
Listen, that's never a bad idea either, I will say.
Vodka.
Listen, the grape and cranberry combo is good, but a sneaky one that's not terrible, and some people are going to call me crazy for this. Cranberry raspberry juice combo.
I don't think that's great.
Weirdly really good.
They're like cousins. Those juices are like cousins. Chicken is chicken for Thanksgiving? Okay.
Listen, I've seen people have steak for Thanksgiving. So.
We've done that before, like beef tenderloin or prime rib and stuff like that.
Well, I don't even know what I'm having for Thanksgiving this year, so.
Hey man, I've been there.
Yeah, I've had a
Whataburger for Thanksgiving. Not bad. All right. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to the real ones. Like I said, follow me on social if you want, at HGramNFL, Twitter, Instagram. Hit the sub button here on the channel. Rolly and I are out. We'll see you next time here on the